I have some super cool peppers. These are not hot peppers, straight from Western Mass. Hi, my name is Douglas Williams. I'm the chef and owner of MIDA restaurant in Boston. I'm here today to show you a super simple recipe based on chimichurri. It's my own version with a few added ingredients. I'm going to show you how to apply it to shrimp, steak, vegetables that you would get at the farmer's market. You can use it as a dip, as a marinade, as a side sauce, whatever you'd like. Super delicious, and I can't wait to show you and walk you through it. So before we get started, I just want to run over the few of the ingredients and a little history behind the sauce we're making today. Traditionally, chimichurri is an Argentinian condiment or marinade. It has parsley, dried oregano, olive oil, a little garlic, onion, and some chilies. Depending on regionality, it has a few extra ingredients. Every time I put traditional chimichurri on the grill, it would flare up because of the oil. So I decided to add mustard to give an extra char to whatever I'm grilling, but also homogenize and blend together the entire sauce so it's not so in little pieces, but rather it's more of a sauce. So we have all ingredients in our mise en place out. We have a half cup of DIJON mustard, chili flake, half of a red onion, right in, cup and a half of red wine vinegar, 2 teaspoons of coriander seed, also add 2 teaspoons of cumin seed, 5 whole cloves of garlic. I have mine chopped up just for ease, but you can absolutely keep it whole, no problem. 2 little pinches of salt, and a teaspoon of black pepper. Now we want to make sure that when we blend it, we break up all the seeds and it roasts with the items that we have. Alright, so when you're cutting parsley, especially for a blender, these stems almost can act as strings. So what you want to make sure you do is cut the leaves any way you'd like, really. You can cut them broadly, it doesn't have to be fine. But once you get down to the mid part where the leaves stop, you want to make sure you get in a little finer to make sure that the stem does not wrap around the bottom of the blade, as it can break your blender. I'm going to have that waiting for me to add to the blender once I break my seeds up. Make sure it's on low to start, and then you slowly bring it up if you have an adjustable blender. I always check the mixture before I add the parsley just to make sure that the seeds are broken down, because sometimes the seeds may not break down enough and you just have to turn the blender higher or mix it for a little longer. So now I'm going to add in all my parsley. Just for a variation, you can add cilantro, you can add spinach. You really take it in your own way if you want to add turmeric powder, whatever it may be that either constitutes to your tradition or to your ethnicity or to just what you're into now, it applies to this recipe. You want to make sure that you just check it, just to make sure everything looks lovely. Parsley's all blended up, seeds are blended, everything is ready to go, and now I can add my oil to emulsify everything in there. Nice slow drizzle. This will make about 6 cups. The green sauce will last about a week and a half in your fridge. About 4 days optimal flavor, but it will still be yummy, still be good after that. Mise en place is a word that we use obviously constantly in the kitchen. It means everything you need and everything in its place. It really just sets the tone for the day, forces you to slow down and think and organize. And I think that mise en place, while obviously made for a kitchen, really comes in for everyday life and can make you more efficient. If you grab all the ingredients as you need them in the beginning with the correct measurements, cooking can actually be fun. We have our green sauce ready, we have our vegetables in place, ready to just toss in a bowl and have some fun with. The shrimp also too. A great tip is just to put it on a skewer or a kebab, something to control the shrimp, to keep them from rolling off the grill or falling through the grates. The meat itself, I'm using skirt steak. I just find skirt steak to be a great balance of meat and fat, but also tenderness, also texture, and a very low level of complexity as far as grilling and charring. Let's start marinating the vegetables. Right here I have Jimmy Nardello peppers, super fresh. They're not hot at all. They actually taste a lot like apple, like sweet cranberry, and all these lovely flavors come out. So we're gonna marinate all those. I have some baby summer squash patty pans, we call them in the kitchen. I'm gonna pop them in there, just grill them whole as well, and I have just some regular white onion. I just quartered it. So we just add the green sauce just like that. Just mix it over. You can be as liberal or as conservative as you want with the amount of sauce. I'm also gonna add just a pinch of salt. I'm just gonna mix that up and get it all marinated. It should look quite beautiful. We're ready to hit that grill. So next we're gonna marinate our shrimp. Place a little bit on. You don't need a whole lot for the shrimp. Actually, having the marinade ready for dipping afterwards is really, really nice as well. Okay, so you just rub them together, flip them over. You don't really need a bowl for this, that's a little hard, or you can marinate all your shrimp beforehand and then put them on a skewer if you like. You put that to the side. So lastly, we have our skirt steak. So I'm just gonna pop this in the bowl. Okay. Then just spread it out just a little bit so it gets all the pieces evenly. Okay. I'm just going to add it to the bowl. This marinade will last on this meat up to a week. 3 days I find to be the optimal amount of marinating time. For the shrimp, you can do it immediately, mix it and put it directly on the grill, or you can hold it into the marinade up till 1 day. The vinegar and some of the ingredients will start to cook the shrimp if it goes past 2 days, and it will actually become ceviche. Then you don't want that. Vegetables can really, really soak in there. You can do it, again, immediately and just put it directly on the grill, or you can do it up to a week, and it really, really starts to absorb all those yummy flavors. Really, really super, super delicious. I'm gonna start with the vegetables because they're a little broad and they should take about 15 minutes to cook. I have the grill on the hottest setting possible. I actually have one of these grill trays. I think they're really an essential item to have if you're doing a lot of vegetables or things that fall through the grates easily. As you can see, the peppers are starting to get just a tad charred and blistered. And if you want, you can break the onion while you're cooking just to get a little more surface area on the actual vegetable. So if you have items like these that have a lot of water in them, it's gonna take a while for that steam to cook out. So you actually will wanna cook these till they become a little tiny bit shriveled. That just means that the water is cooked out, but the flavor is put in. So now we have our steak. I'm gonna start to grill, okay? I'm just gonna move my peppers to the side to get some surface area. I'm gonna use the hottest part of the grill I can. I'm a little fortunate right now because I'm using skirt steak. It's a little thinner, it's a very quick cook, maybe 1.5 minutes per side, maybe 2 minutes. Not moving the meat too much is pretty important and integral to getting a good char. You can peek under and look at it if you want, just to see, but you really want to try to keep this closed as long as you can until you have to move it. So you can start to see the steam is starting to pour out of the pepper, and that means you are getting closer to it being cooked. So onions, they have almost some translucency. That's how you know when a lot of the heat is starting to push through the fibers of the vegetable. Same for patty pan squash. You can start to even feel it, and it starts to get softer. Okay, you can squeeze it. If it's really, really firm, it means it's not quite done yet. Now we have some space. I'm gonna put the peppers onto the charring basket. As they're pretty much done, you can start to see the limp in the pepper. That's really what you want. They went from pretty firm to somewhat limp. Now for the meat, I haven't touched it yet, so I'm going to just turn it a bit to get a little more char on the hotter part of the grill. I try to find a spot that things haven't been on yet, and that's where I usually aim for. So I'm gonna add my shrimp now. Again, on skewers, super efficient, very easy. I'm about 1 minute out from taking my meat off. I'm gonna have these little pans wrapped in foil with a little rack on them. But I'm gonna take my steak off and pop it on here now so the air, as it's cooling, can circulate under the meat so it doesn't sweat it and make it overcook itself. So I'm just gonna take it off, put it on these trays, get my peppers on there. I'm gonna let the squash cook for just a little bit. I think my onions are done, a little charred. It still has the texture of being raw, which I actually like. It comes across as fresh to me. And just go to turn that, okay, onto a new part of the grill. It's about 2 minutes per side. I don't want too much char, as they will tend to dry out and get rubbery. But as long as you see orange coming through, that's what you're looking for. A little charring on the tails is totally fine. I'm just gonna take these off right now, okay? Place them on the rack to cool properly. Okay. And now my patty pans are done. They have a really nice char, just the right amount of softness that you know they're done. Just in time, it's raining, so time to head in. Let's eat this yummy food and plate it up. So my mom is Syrian Lebanese, my father's a black gentleman. He was a chef, my mom was just an avid home cook. So that was always a part of my culture and my home experience was great food, done well, done simply, and obviously done deliciously. When I was 16, I actually developed Crohn's disease. So I decided to, if I'm going to heal myself, that I'm gonna have to learn how to eat well and cook well. I decided to enroll myself into a culinary school. I remember going into the classroom, not being able to eat anything, and deciding that I still have to figure this out. So I chewed most things up, I spit them out to get the salt, to get the texture, and then I moved on to the next. Once culinary school was over, I saw the world as my oyster and decided to start traveling, to get out there and not be scared of the limitations that I have with my stomach. So I was able to find myself in Paris eating some of the finest foods and cooking some of the finest foods. And sometimes, and maybe not always being able to eat them, but at least being able to to experience smell, taste, and get texture. And I tried to combine all of those experiences to become one beautiful thing, almost like the green sauce we're making, to where it's all these different experiences, all these different inspirations coming to create this one great recipe, which you see here today. So we have all of our vegetables and proteins ready to go. When it comes to plate up, you just want to be very, very simple in what you do. You don't have to do anything fancy. For steak, especially skirt steak, you'll see these fine lines that run vertically through the skirt steak, and you want to just make sure you cut the first cut with that line. When you turn it to the side, and now we're gonna cut against that grain, that vertical line that you see in the meat. Not all meat obviously is cut like skirt steak, so you want to just pay attention to the grain marks. I suggest to eat this pepper somewhat whole. Again, it's not hot or spicy. And then you can even dip the vegetables if you like, or sauce it. And for the shrimp, you just remove it from the skewer. Okay, there we go. And you just have fun. And then you can sauce on top. Same for the shrimp. Here we have all the dishes. I plated one dish together so you can see what that would be like. I would love to eat it like that. The steak is really yummy. You can taste the vinegar, you can taste the Dijon. I'm gonna try a little piece of the squash. As you can see, it's completely translucent now on the inside and charred on the outside. Has all the flavors of squash, has all the flavors of the grill. I can taste the marinade. The peppers still have their sweetness, but you still, again, taste the caramelization from the grill. And that marinade just really just brings everything out. All of its character, all of its texture. Once you have the marinade made, I mean, you really can do anything. It's really an everyday recipe. It's not meant for one time of the year. It's all seasonal. It really just depends on your imagination how far you take this. And I can't wait to see you come up with. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really had a great time. Make sure you show me what you want to do with this, what you want to apply it to. You can comment below. Make sure you subscribe and like Food and Wine's YouTube channel. You can follow me at Douglas with 2 S's, Williams on Instagram. Make sure you come visit me at MIDA in Boston. We'd love to have you. Thank you so much.